Let me tell you about an interesting incident. A very interesting incident. This girl was extreme, like most women are, especially ones that are up to something, very protective of her cell phone. She was very brief in her answers, as if she was like editing everything she said to be very specific, where I just run off at the mouth. She tended to be cautious or sometimes even retract something, just, a simple adjective or word, and that always confused me a bit. So I knew on some level, well, I'm like, well, why is it that we're bonding? That was probably the number one topic we discussed the most. And at that time, she was not aware of what was going on. At some point, I think what happened was she started thinking, oh, I'm this important person, and either he's a bad guy or he's using me or something. I don't even know what you would think. When really none of that makes any sense with how the first 4 years or 5 years or 6 years of us knowing each other went. This became a bigger deal as time went on because she began to react in different ways than in truth. In other words, she had me painted out as somebody where I'm like, she doesn't even know who she's talking to. Like, that was very confusing. I would compliment her when she graduated college, for example. A month later, we were having a conversation, and she would just conveniently say, without thinking, like, and then when you were dissing me about, making fun of me for graduating college and this and that, and on and on and on. And I'm sitting here going, wait, what are you talking about? So, yeah, you did. You were like, this and that. And you graduated college, and you're just an idiot. And I'm like, I never said that. At the time, I didn't think much about it. But what became very clear was she was in her mind, like, she was picturing me as someone else. Because that's what someone that she thought was that way would say. This has happened to me before with other people. And it was weird, the things that she would flip out on. She was very, she basically got put on to me because of an experience that happened with me and a friend of hers, one of her best friends, that she was very intrigued about because that family is very conservative socially. And what she saw was kind of miraculous. And so she just got, curious. And that was after we lived together. Because she thought, oh, you're in big trouble now when she sees what you wrote in forecasting her future. And it turned out to be an extremely profound thing that family invited me to the funeral. I didn't even know them. So she knew something. In fact, I believe her exact words were, I had my awakening when I saw Jenica have her awakening over what you said. And her family awoke over what you said. And they didn't even know who you were. You hadn't talked to her in 9 months. They never knew your fucking name. I grew up with her. She said, I had my awakening seeing Jenica wake up to you. That's an interesting statement. So then she comes into the picture. We're talking. I don't know why she's really like, it was really kind of strange. But whatever, I needed someone to talk to. I don't regret any of that. That's just fate. But at one point, I would say this is like in 2014, I was in LA. And all of a sudden, I get this picture on my cell phone that's extremely provocative of her, from her number. Now, I don't need to get any reply from her. I knew immediately, wow, why is she even taking a picture like this? And two, she did not mean to send this to me. Because I already vibed that there was even though that wasn't true, how can I say this? She was overdoing it. She was overdoing, me thinks thou protest too much. After what had happened previously, she was overdoing it, I'm over it, I don't like you anymore, on and on and on. So I know she wouldn't accidentally slip up like that. She would never say oh, I love you too, as a friend. That happened once, and she thought I meant it literally. And I kind of laughed at that. I'm like, no, I would say the same thing to a guy, chill out. She was very protective of that. And it was always shocking to me how did I get that picture? I meant to send it to so-and-so, she said. I accidentally sent it to you. That doesn't happen. Now, who she sent it to is somebody she's with now. And I do not deny for a second, I don't think she accidentally sent it to me. But I'm meaning that she accidentally put in my number. I do not think that she in any way, shape, or form wanted me to ever see that picture. And she demanded I erase it. And I knew right away, I'm not erasing that. Because that's not a picture I would have stole. And that's not a picture I would have gotten any other way except you have sent it to me. But I've told you, I didn't mean to send it to you. Are you sure? Are you sure you didn't mean to send it to me? Who did you mean to send it to? You may have thought you had a name of someone. You may have thought you had a phone number of someone. But you meant to send that to a certain individual who you thought was that person. So what happened was, he got the picture and I got the picture. She meant to send it to him because she pictured him as being that individual. But really, it wasn't him. So somehow or another, in a Twilight Zone moment, in you know, the fracture of time and space, that picture miraculously got also sent to the real dude. That's exactly what I think happened. I'm positive. She would never accidentally send that picture to me. And she was so adamant about how, like, just forget about it. I didn't mean to send that to you and this and that. I mean, I was just like, why would you even take a picture like that? And why are you sending pictures like that to anybody? There was a big clue that I didn't get. But in retrospect, I realized, you know, if that's the guy that she was secretly sending pictures to, and I'm seeing this guy post my words on his, you know, or he's saying he's using my words now. Holy shit. This dude, like, so in other words, I'm saying, like, there's an operator that accidentally was like, oh, you needed to be more specific when you sent that picture to this and blankety blank guy. No, I know you can use a name, but you also said this and that. If you're sending it to that other guy, that's not who this and blank blank is. So we both got the picture. I'm positive. I know that sounds really weird, sci-fi-ish. But that's exactly what happened. Is we both got the picture because she meant it for that guy because she thinks that's the guy that she was going to be with. But when she was describing or feeling in her mind, I mean, this happened a lot with her. Oopsie-daisy, Dawn accidentally gets a hold of information she never would want to reveal because, well, I guess she didn't address it right. She didn't know, like, I don't know why, he must be tapping my phone lines. No, because you didn't know you were addressing me. You're projecting, you don't realize that you're projecting me onto him because that's what he's going to be doing. He knows that someone's feeding him information. And guess where they got that information? From me, right? So you got to be careful what you say. You know, what's that old joke about the girl who, her grandmother dies, and so she's praying one night, and her parents come in and see her praying. And so they think that's so sweet, so they buy the little girl a goldfish the next day so she's not depressed. And that night, that girl prays for the goldfish. And the next morning, they wake up and the goldfish is dead. And they're like, whoa, that's weird. So the little girl's all depressed. The next night, they go and they watch the girl. They decided to buy her a parakeet. And sure enough, what happens? The next day after she prays for the parakeet's dead. Now the parents are paranoid. They watch that kid really close. And sure enough, the dad, who'd been really sweet to her and bought her goldfish and bought her parakeet, she's praying for her dad. Oh, the dad's paranoid as fuck. He can barely even work the next day. He's at every red light. He stops early. He thinks he's looking behind his back. He can't even finish off the day. So he goes home. He leaves work early, convinced he's going to die because his kid's praying for him. And he comes in. He goes, "Honey, I've had the worst fucking day of my life. I was convinced I was going to die. Our daughter prays for her dad, or anything she prays for dies." And the woman's crying. She goes, "You think you had a bad day? The UPS man came to the front door and he dropped dead." And that's what I think happened with that picture. No one ever gets that joke, right? She prayed for her dad. The UPS guy's her dad, not her dad. And so she was sending that picture to somebody she thought I was. She didn't know I was the guy. I really don't know, but I just know that that's what happened.